Good morning, everyone. This is Brian Weber from technicalanalysis.research.com. This is the Eurodollar video report for the 8th of May 2012. So, looking at the Eurodollar and looking at what I'd done yesterday, it was a pretty much of a grind yesterday because of the UK bank holiday. The order flow and volume was pretty much low yesterday. So, price pretty much took its time to head up as we were expecting. And it just fell about 10 pips shy of the overall target that we were looking for. We were looking for the 130.75, and you can see here that it actually reached 130.65 and found strong resistance here, just shy of that weekly pivot at the 130.75 here. But that's okay. It's only 10 pips shy. We still locked in some decent profit on the trade. So again, it has found some decent resistance at that 130.65, and over the Asian session, it's pretty much just sold off down towards that central pivot and also the monthly S1. And you guys can see that it's just starting to break through that level there. But what we do have is really strong support here around the 130 100 level up towards the 130.15 level right here, the confluence zone. And also just below there we do have the DS1, which is the daily support one on the pivot points here. And that's just down at the 129.90 level. So we do have a lot of support in this particular region as price is heading down here early morning. Now if I look down at my RSI, you can see the RSI is trending down, but this is the long-term RSI, and we're almost reaching that oversold region. Usually when this long-term RSI reaches the oversold and overbought regions, we do see a correction because it's based on a higher time frame. This is a 50-minute chart, but this RSI is really like the 1 hour or 2 hour RSI we're looking at here. And we can see that every time it does dip in to like the overbought oversold, we do usually see a correction in the market. Okay, so as we head down towards the support region here, we could see this RSI now dipping in just below that 30% level, giving an oversold indication. Now, that does not mean the price is guaranteed to move, or reverse, should I say, but it's something that we should take notice of and be aware of, that this support levels here could hold this support zone. So what I'm going to do today, or what I'm going to advise today, is actually watch this zone for a potential buy. But if we do break below it, then we will look to short the market. Okay, so we're going to have a couple of different opportunities here, depending on the price action, what happens when price actually reaches that zone. If we start to see divergence both building up, if we get that RSI moving below the 30% level into this region here, and we start to see some sort of divergence on the stochastic, as well as some candle formations, bullish candle formations when we're in this zone here, then yeah, we can look to get long in the market and base a trade off of this support zone back up probably towards that daily pivot. And if the daily pivot and MS1 gives way, which is, let me just mark that off, which is these two little zones here, this light blue line and this black line, if these gave way, then we would look to trade this higher back up to yesterday's high around the 130.65 level. Okay, so I'm just going to move my chart along here. So what we'll be looking for, or one of the potential things we'll be looking for, is this zone here to potentially hold as a foundation for price to relaunch itself to the upside. Okay, so if we come down anywhere really in this zone, it doesn't really matter what level it is, but anywhere within this yellow zone from the 129.90 up towards that 130.15, so you got like a little 25 pip support zone here. What we'll be looking for is that RSI to be oversold and possibly divergence, some sort of divergence on the stochastic, as well as a bullish candle formations to form anywhere in this zone in order to get long and trade this back up towards this daily pivot. Again, if this daily pivot eventually gives way, you wouldn't expect this just to break into one go, but you can cover your longs here and re-enter a market on a break of this daily pivot, or take portion of your profit, move your stop loss up to break even, or lock in a portion of the second position and wait to see if the daily pivot is broken. But if the daily pivot is broken, then we'll continue to trade this up towards yesterday's high around that 130.65 and possibly the weekly pivot at the 130.75 since the gap wasn't fully closed yesterday. It was partially closed, but it wasn't fully closed. If you actually have a look at yesterday's gap, we can see that the blue line here, which capped price yesterday at the 130.65, but still got this little gap here. Okay, so the overall gap on the market was from these lows here all the way down to here, but prices only managed to fill a partial part of that gap. Okay, it's about 80-90%, but there's still this little portion here that hasn't been filled. And reaching that weekly pivot, the 130.75, would pretty much just fill the gap and complete the upside move. Okay, so do watch that 130 100 to the 130.15, even that 129.90 zone. Okay, so again, it's right about a 25 pip zone here. Support zone we have to watch.